Jasmine Crockett from Texas, and she's in the House of Representatives. She posted on Twitter, Senate Republicans just passed Trump's bull SHIT of a bill, and it's even uglier than before. At least 16 million could lose health care. Trillions will be added to the deficit. Hospitals will close. We know this for a fact, especially in rural areas. This is going to impact the red states more than any place else. Children will go hungry. It's eliminating SNAP. I think Tuberville was like, bring your own lunch, you lazy so-and-sos.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Big, beautiful BS bill just headed back to the House of Representatives after J.D. Vance broke the tie. It was a 50-50 tie. And as we know, when Kamala Harris was vice president, she broke more ties than any other vice president in the history of these United States. Tells you how divided this country is. Well, J.D. Vance got to break a tie today. It was such a narrow thing. And it also tells us how cowardly Lisa Murkowski is. Or cowardly, is she a coward? Yeah, she's a coward and an opportunist and a very selfish, small, tiny person. Ooh. Susan Collins, who I was talking about yesterday, Susan Collins actually stepped her ass up. Susan Collins, senator from Maine, she said she voted no. I said, what? Okay, Susan Collins, I see you. As did Tom Tillis, who we talked about yesterday, who is so bold that he will not be running for re-election because he will be the president of the United States. Said that he would make sure he gets primaried, North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis, but he's still on his way out. Was like, yeah, no, this is not, nah, Chief, I'm not doing this. And Rand Paul, whose neighbor whooped his ass, but he showed some grit today. Got his ass whooped in his own yard by a neighbor, but today he stood up, stood on business, primarily because he's a libertarian who doesn't believe in big government. He's a throwback to when Republicans were actually Republicans, small government. And this bill is big. It's big and nasty and funky, and it's going to add trillions of dollars to our already bloated debt, 3.3 trillion to be exact. Shame on you, Lisa Murkowski. You could have gone down in history as a senator with a backbone. So what happens next? Well, now it returns to the House of Representatives, where Mike Johnson is there, and he warned the Senate not to stray far from what was already passed. But, you know, they added stuff because that's what they do and took away some stuff. So now they're going to go back to the House, and we're getting to see government play out. But this is a fait accompli. Although, you know, I was listening to people listening to Larry. Y'all call Clay. I was listening to Clay today, talking to the first hour about Nelly, which I'm not going to talk about maybe until Friday. But, you know, there are things you can do. We had a caller yesterday, used to protest the Vietnam War, still got all of her posters and stuff and flyers and things to protest in her garage. She said, I'm of an age now. I'm not going to be in them streets. You should not be, but use that 5 calls app. Call your congressperson. Call other people's congresspeople. Get the list of people who are on the fence and bombard them. This is the time. Use your voice. Use your fingers. Blah, 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 blah. You can do that. But I do believe this is a fait accompli. And I'm not throwing up my hands and saying there's nothing we can do. But they teed this up. Project 2025 spelled it out. The man told you this was what he was going to do. Some of you didn't believe him. And I know folk are like, oh, well, you know, it can't be that bad. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And I don't want to rub it in the face because, again, it has happened. You did not show up in November, or you showed up third party, or you showed up, wrote in a name, or you didn't. You voted for everybody but Kamala Harris. And this is how we ended up here. And yes, ballot boxes were burned, and people were thrown off the voter rolls in swing states like Georgia and Pennsylvania. Yes, we know that there was some cheating happening. The little child of Elon Musk told us Daddy did some things. We know all of that. But the 90 million people, this is on you. I've never voted for Kamala, Genocide Joe. This is on you. This is on you. And be adult enough to admit it. Grow up. Grow up, be enough of an adult to say, damn, I made a mistake. And that's okay. But this is where we are now. Now, what are you going to do? Now, you more than anyone, y'all who sat your asses at home and decided that this form of genocide was going to be less than the form of genocide that we were expecting. Time to do something. You can do something. The House committee is scheduled to meet. Well, they met today for an hour after the Senate passed the sweeping tax and spending and tax everybody but the rich people bill. Why do we have billionaires? Do we need them? No, I say no. Those of you who aspire to be a billionaire, you're a horrible person. Why do you want that much money? Vice President JD broke the tie, as I mentioned. Now, the committee's role is pivotal because it determines how the legislation will be brought to the House floor. So the committee met today, and the full House is set to reconvene tomorrow morning to take up the revised bill. Johnson responded. He said, "We're ready to finish the job," because they've been standing on business for quite some time. The House had previously passed its own version of the bill late May, and only by the slimmest of margins there, by just one vote. So there are some people on the fence that can be swayed. 2-3 people, that's all you need. So here we go. For some of the GOP's fiscally conservative members, which should be all of the GOP, isn't that what the Republicans all about, fiscal conservatism? Huh? What happened? $3.3 trillion. Cuts to health care, which we know bankrupts people. Nearly $1 trillion more they added than what the House approved in their version. $1 trillion. You can't even fathom $1 trillion. So here we are. Shout out to Susan Collins. I didn't expect this from you, ma'am. You showed a little grit in your gravel. Tom Tillis, thank you. Rand Paul, good. And Jasmine Crockett from Texas, she's in the House of Representatives. She posted on Twitter, Senate Republicans just passed Trump's bull SHIT of a bill, and it's even uglier than before. At least 16 million could lose health care. Trillions will be added to the deficit. Hospitals will close. We know this for a fact. Especially in rural areas, this is going to impact the red states more than any place else. Children will go hungry. It's eliminating SNAP. I think Tuberville was like, bring your own lunch. You lazy so-and-sos. You want to feed off the government. You should bring your own lunch. You don't care that children are going hungry. Now it comes back to the House, and the Democrats, this is Jasmine Crockett. Now it comes back to the House. Democrats will be holding the line, because somebody has to fight for the folks they're so quick to leave behind, including their own constituents. She is absolutely right. Let's hear from Lisa the Coward Murkowski, who is from the great state of Alaska. The Alaska has one of the highest crime rates in the country. It's poor, even though they get welfare. We're going to talk about welfare with Elon Musk in a second. But you think about the welfare queen, Elon Musk. Yeah, they get welfare in Alaska, and you sold out the rest of the country because she cut a backdoor deal. We talked about this yesterday. She cut a backdoor deal to preserve the SNAP and the Medicaid in her state. She cut a deal that carved out just Alaska. This coward, small, tiny-minded, little weak person. Play her clips, Ms.
Senator Paul said that that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh my God.
That's what Senator Paul said.
Senator, we've got the...
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska. And I live up to that every single day. I fight for my state's interests, and I make sure that Alaskans are understood. I work hard to take care of a state that has more unique situations, more unique people, and it's just different. And so when people suggest that federal dollars go to one of our 50 states in a, quote, bailout, I find that offensive. I advocated for my state's interests. I will continue to do that, and I will make no excuses for doing that. Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that.
Oh, you cowardly ninny. Alaska receives $6.2 billion from the federal government. It is a welfare state. I live in New Jersey, by the way. We send, I think, a couple of billion more to the federal government than we receive, as does New York and California and Connecticut and Massachusetts. Since you want to play the states' rights game, I wish we had governors with the backbone to say, okay, let's keep our money. I think Gavin Newsom has said that about California. Since this government, we can't depend on them if there's a crisis, if there's some sort of wildfire, if there are hurricanes, if there are issues. Hell, he wouldn't even give Sarah Huckabee Sanders any money. She was begging, please, sir, we need the money in here in Arkansas. He said, nah, figure it out. Okay, states' rights. That's an option. Y'all want to play that game? If we actually had courageous leadership in these states that send more money to the feds, it would be a different ball game. It would look a lot different. Yes. We don't need your National Guard coming in. As a matter of fact, since you're trying to erase black people from your military, it's telling me domestically that they're trying to do something that maybe these black soldiers would not want to do. So let's figure out how to get the black soldiers out so we can run a Boston. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that Lisa Murkowski is a whole ass coward. And we heard it with her own mouth. She's going to look out for hers. Interesting. Let's remember. Let's never forget.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will